Hello, this is going to be part 9 of my skywatching series. And in part 8, I thought I was going to modify my application, which I had done in a previous video, part 6 and part 7. And in part 6, I have at the end a comparison between my application and SunCalc and MoonCalc, and you can see that at the end of that video. And with the exception of about less than 1 degree or about up to 1 degree, particularly for the moon, my application matched SunCalc and MoonCalc for multiple locations on the Earth, both along the line of longitude and along the line of latitude. Also, if you look at my time-lapse videos, particularly the one for October, you'll see that my video overlay happens to line up with the celestial objects fairly well. In part 8, I decided I was going to try to simulate what the Earth would look like if it was flat. And I used trigonometry to figure out how high the sun, the moon, and the stars would have to be. And you can watch that one. If anybody can find a better flat Earth model, please let me know. I would be happy to entertain it. At this point, I would like to show the results of that. So one of the things I wanted to do to confirm that everything was working fairly well, I added extra information that you see at the bottom of this section for the object that I'm looking at, specifically where on the Earth that object should appear overhead. As of this particular time, Eastern Standard, the sun should appear directly overhead at a latitude of minus 20.796 and a longitude of minus 72.652. I took that and dialed that into SunCalc, and as you can see at that same coordinate, the altitude is 89.88 and the azimuth is 90, and you can see that the sun appears directly overhead. I can choose a different part of the world. It makes no difference. I can select whatever part of the world I want. Let's try a different time and date. August 25th of 2020 at 12:34 p.m. Let's just go to 89.97 and an azimuth of 270. August of 2020. And as you can see, the sun is directly overhead for that day. I can also do the same thing for the moon. Here it's telling me the moon is on this day at a latitude of 17 degrees south and a longitude of 89 degrees. August 25th of 2020 for the moon, it was directly overhead over here at 17.716 degrees south and 88.3 degrees east, which is the same as that. This is 1738 UTC plus 6. This is 1810 UTC plus 6.5. So I'm fairly confident that I have the correct algorithm to determine where a particular object is overhead. That also includes the stars as well. If I look at Anka, it should be directly overhead at 42 degrees south and a longitude of 37 degrees west. You'll be able to see all of the math that I did in this one and how high I planned on calculating the height of the sun, moon, and stars above the Earth. And they all came out to about 5,004 kilometers. You can watch this one. Finally, what I decided to do was to take my application and modify it so that I could use either a globe-based celestial coordinate calculator or I could use a flat Earth celestial coordinate calculator as I indicated in this video. And I can use either one to show how it would look if it was on a globe Earth or on a flat Earth. So what I did was I added a separate control, more feature creep, called Pizza World mode. And I have to stress that this is the best flat Earth model I can think of, and I challenge anyone to come up with a more accurate model. But I'm ready to show the results. And I also added additional verbosity to this by providing additional information as well. From my present rough location of Ottawa, the distance to the sun, where the sun would be directly overhead, would be 7,971 kilometers. if the altitude of 18.3 degrees is correct, then that would mean that the sun would be 2,637 kilometers above the Earth from my distance to this geocoordinate. I can animate it, and as you can see, the distance above the Earth changes throughout the day, even to the point where it goes below altitude of 0 and it crashes into the ground. If I turn Pizza World mode on, this is what I should see throughout the day. So I'm facing south. If I were to back up towards the North Pole, everything seems to be moving away from me. And if I animate it, everything seems to be spinning around like that. If I turn around to face the North Pole, and now I start backing away from the North Pole, you can see there's Polaris. Everything seems to spin like this. And as soon as I saw that, I thought, I've seen that before. And sure enough, Tommy Gronwald made a video where he strung some lights up to a parasol. And he's rotating his camera in one case, or he's rotating the parasol in another case. And he's looking at the star trails. That is where the parasol was rotating, and that is where he was rotating the camera. Finally, the last thing I'd like to show is the difference in overlay between Globe World and Pizza World mode. You can see there's a star right here. If I say draw the stars, you can see that it's Altair. So I'm just going to scrub this ahead and back a little bit. As you can see, Altair is being tracked as would be expected. Again, I would suggest you watch my time-lapse video to see that it tracks reasonably well. But what happens if I turn Pizza World mode on? It should be over here, but it's over here. And not only that, as you can see, it's not lining up at all times. So I don't know if people would think that is proof enough, but to me, it certainly seems like the globe Earth model is the correct one after all. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video soon enough. You know what to do. Click the buttons, like, yada, yada, yada. Bye for now.